Hello, welcome to the channel.
Do this every day to achieve success. If there's one thing I've learned in my years of building automobiles, factories, and a company from the ground up, it's this. Success is not an accident. It is the outcome of daily deliberate actions. Many people think success comes from one brilliant idea, a stroke of luck, or some grand one-time effort. But I'll tell you this straight, that is a myth. In reality, success is built the same way a car is built, piece by piece, day after day, with each bolt tightened and each part aligned. And if you want to achieve anything worthwhile in your life, whether it's in business, in art, or in your own personal growth, you must commit yourself to a set of daily habits that will move you forward, even if only by an inch each day. I want to share with you exactly what I did every single day, what I still believe anyone should do, if they want to move from where they are to where they dream of being. Some of these things are simple. Some will test your patience, but all of them, if done consistently, will transform you from an ordinary person into someone capable of extraordinary results. 1. Start the day before the sun rises. You may not like hearing this, but your mornings shape your destiny. When I was working as an apprentice in Detroit, I used to wake before the sun, even before the city stirred. That extra time gave me the chance to think, to plan, to prepare, and to work on my own ideas while others were still asleep. Success loves the early riser. The morning is free from distractions, noise, and interruptions. You have the mental clarity to focus on what matters most. This is the time to plan your day, to review your goals, and to take the first steps toward them. If you wait until the day has already begun, until everyone else is awake and demanding your time, you've already lost the battle for control. So do this every day. Wake up early, not when you feel like it, but at a fixed time. Use the first hour for yourself, your thoughts, your goals, your plans. Avoid starting the day with noise. No newspapers, no idle talk, no rushing. Start with clarity. 2. Work on the most important thing. First, once your day starts, it's tempting to check small tasks off your list. But here's the truth. Success comes from doing the hard, meaningful work, not just the easy work. When I was working on building the first affordable car for everyday Americans, I spent my mornings focused on the engineering problems that mattered most. Not the paperwork, not the small talk, but the tasks that would bring the Model T closer to reality. Every day, before you let the world pull you in different directions, choose the one thing that will move your life or your work forward the most, and do that first. That way, even if the rest of your day falls apart, you've already made progress on what matters most. 3. Learn something new. I have always believed that the person who stops learning stops growing. The world changes every day, and if you want to keep up, let alone lead, you must be a constant student. In my early years, I spent countless evenings studying engines, reading technical manuals, and experimenting in my small workshop. Even when I had a family, a job, and no shortage of responsibilities, I still made time to learn. Do this every day. Read something that challenges your thinking. Study your craft. Seek knowledge that can make you better, faster, or more efficient. You'd be surprised how quickly daily learning compounds. In a year, you can become an expert in almost anything if you give it consistent attention. 4. Improve one small thing. Great change doesn't come from giant leaps alone. More often, it comes from small daily improvements. When we were refining the assembly line, we didn't revolutionize it in a single day. We made small adjustments, moving a tool here, improving a step there, and over time, those changes transformed production forever. Every day, ask yourself, what can I improve today? It might be your process, your relationships, your skills, or even your attitude. One small improvement a day will make you unrecognizable in a year. 5. Stay in motion. I often say nothing is particularly hard if you divide it into small jobs. But another truth is this: nothing will get done unless you keep moving. Too many people spend their time planning, talking, or waiting for the perfect moment. That perfect moment never comes. The only way forward is through action. Do not let a day pass without taking steps toward your goal. Even if they're small, keep moving. Consistency beats intensity. A little progress each day keeps you from falling into the trap of inaction. 6. Keep your word. To yourself. First, most people think keeping your word means honoring promises to others. And that is important. But before you can be trusted by the world, you must first be trusted by yourself. If you tell yourself you'll wake up early, do it. If you tell yourself you'll work on your goals today, do it. If you tell yourself you'll save a portion of your earnings, do it. Every time you break a promise to yourself, you weaken your self-belief. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you strengthen it. And self-belief is the engine that drives all success. 7. Guard your time like a hawk. You cannot make more time. It is the one resource you can never replace. That's why I treat my time with the same care a craftsman treats his tools. I do not waste it, and I do not let others waste it for me. Every day you will be tempted by distractions, gossip, trivial tasks, meaningless entertainment. If you're not careful, they'll steal your time in small, almost invisible amounts. I have found that the most successful people are not those who work the hardest in bursts, but those who work steadily every day because they guard their time fiercely. Ask yourself every day, is what I'm doing right now bringing me closer to my goal? Am I using my hours on things that matter or things that will fade? 8. Practice relentless focus. We live in a world that will try to pull you in 100 different directions, but nothing of value is built with scattered attention. When I worked on the first affordable automobile, people suggested all kinds of side projects, distractions, and alternative models. But I knew if I allowed my attention to split, we'd never bring the Model T to the market the way I envisioned. So every day I asked myself, what is the single most important mission right now? And I gave it my full focus. Do not chase 10 rabbits, catch one, and then move on to the next. 9. Work when you don't feel like it. This is perhaps the greatest separator between those who succeed and those who do not. The ability to work when inspiration is nowhere to be found. There were days in the workshop when the engines refused to cooperate, when parts failed, when I was tired to the bone. On those days, I still showed up. I still worked. And often, progress came not from the days I felt inspired, but from the days I simply refused to quit. If you work only when you feel like it, you'll never accomplish much. If you work regardless of how you feel, you will astonish yourself. 10. Review your day. Every evening, just as I start each morning with a plan, I end each evening with a review. Before I rest, I look back at the day and ask, what did I accomplish? Where did I waste time or energy? How can I do better tomorrow? This simple habit keeps you honest with yourself. It ensures that days do not pass without lessons learned. 11. Protect your energy. You cannot run an engine at full throttle forever. You must maintain it, fuel it, and prevent unnecessary wear. The same is true for you. I have seen talented men burn out because they never learned to rest. And I have seen steady, disciplined men outlast their competition simply because they knew when to slow down. Every day, protect your energy, eat food that fuels you, sleep enough to recover, take breaks before exhaustion becomes your master. Success is not a sprint. It is a long, demanding race, and you must stay in it for the long haul. 12. Surround yourself with the right people. No one builds success alone. Every great achievement is the result of a team, whether it's a family, a company, or a circle of friends who believe in you. Every day, choose to spend time with people who encourage you to be better, people who challenge you, support you, and hold you accountable. Avoid those who pull you down, drain your energy, or fill your mind with doubt. The wrong company can destroy even the strongest ambition. 13. Be willing to do more than you're paid for. When I was a young man, I took jobs that had nothing to do with building cars, but in each one I gave more than I was asked for. That extra effort became a habit, and when the opportunity came to prove myself in my own business, that habit paid off tenfold. If you do only what is required, you will always remain where you are. If you do more than is expected, you will always move forward. Now let me tell you something few people want to hear. Success is often slow, and it is often invisible to everyone but yourself. You can go months, even years, working on something without applause, without recognition, without anyone telling you that you are on the right path. And that is exactly why most people give up. They want quick proof, instant rewards, visible results. But the truth is, the most important progress happens in the dark, far from the public eye. It is built quietly day after day by the one who refuses to stop. I spent years working on ideas that no one cared about. In the early days, when I spoke about making a car affordable to the average working man, people laughed. They told me I was dreaming. They told me it couldn't be done. Even some of my closest associates suggested I give it up and focus on making luxury cars for the wealthy. But I held to my vision, and every single day I worked toward it, sometimes taking steps so small they seemed meaningless at the time. But I understood something. Those small steps were not meaningless. They were bricks. And brick by brick, I was building something no one else could see yet. The difference between the man who succeeds and the man who fails is not always talent or opportunity. More often, it is simply that one kept going when the other stopped. It's a matter of discipline, of doing the work whether you feel like it or not. There will be days when your enthusiasm is high, when you feel unstoppable, when every task feels like progress. Those days are easy. The real test is when you wake up tired, discouraged, uncertain, when the results are slow and the doubts are loud. Those are the days that decide your future. If you can still take action then, you will eventually find yourself where others only dream of being. One thing I learned early is that the habits you practice every single day will shape your destiny more than any single big event in your life. We like to think success is a grand moment, the big deal, the breakthrough, the lucky meeting. But those moments are almost always the result of hundreds, even thousands, of days spent preparing for them. Without the daily work, the big opportunity will pass you by, and you won't even realize it. Every day that you choose to show up, you are casting a vote for the person you want to become. And over time, those votes add up. When I walked through the factory each morning, I didn't just look at the machines and the workers. I looked for ways to make the process smoother, faster, more efficient. I believed that if you improve just one small thing each day, in a year you would transform the whole system. And I treated myself the same way. Each day I asked, how can I work better, think better, live better than I did yesterday? The answers were not always dramatic. Sometimes they were as simple as organizing my tools better, changing the order of a process, or reading a single page from a book that taught me something new. But those small improvements, repeated daily, made all the difference. You have to understand that the world will not hand you success. It does not owe you recognition or rewards simply because you have ambition. The world will test you, delay you, and often ignore you. It will make you prove that you are willing to work for your vision without guarantees. And that is why your daily habits are so critical. They are your proof to yourself and to the world that you are serious. Every day you work is a day you refuse to quit. And the day you refuse to quit is the day you are still in the race. I have seen men with far more talent than I ever had fail because they lack consistency. And I have seen men of modest ability build great fortunes and great legacies simply because they did the work day in and day out without excuse. You don't have to be the smartest, the fastest, or the most gifted. You have to be the one who keeps going when everyone else stops. That is the difference. And there's something else. The people you spend your time with will shape your habits, and your habits will shape your life. Surround yourself with men and women who value discipline, who push themselves, who dream big and work hard. Spend too much time with those who waste their days, and you will begin to waste yours. I made sure that my circle, both in business and in life, was made up of people who wanted to move forward. It kept me sharp, it kept me driven, and it reminded me that I was not alone in my pursuit. At the end of each day, I would review what I had done, not to punish myself for mistakes, but to learn from them. I asked whether I had used my time well, whether I had moved even one step closer to my goals, whether I had allowed distractions to steal my attention. And if I had failed in any way, I promised myself to do better tomorrow. This nightly review kept me honest. It kept me improving, because success is not about perfection. It's about steady, relentless progress. And so I say to you, do the work every single day, whether you feel like it or not. Learn something every single day, no matter how small. Improve one thing every single day, no matter how minor it may seem. Protect your time, protect your energy, and keep your promises to yourself. These are not grand secrets. They are not flashy, but they are powerful. And if you do them every day without fail, you will find yourself moving toward success with a certainty that will surprise you. The man or woman who commits to this kind of daily discipline will always eventually reach their destination. You have to decide right now what kind of life you want to live. Not tomorrow, not when things are better, not when you feel ready. You decide now. Because the truth is, no one will decide for you. And if you leave it to chance, life will make the choice on your behalf, and you may not like the result. The days you waste will not come back. Every sunrise you ignore is an opportunity lost forever. I've seen men wake up at 40 or 50 years old and wonder where their dreams went, only to realize they had traded them away in small, forgettable decisions. Another hour of sleep, another evening wasted, another day telling themselves they'd start tomorrow. But tomorrow has a way of never arriving for those who live that way. Do you want to know the real reason I succeeded? It wasn't because I had more resources. I began with almost nothing. It wasn't because I had better luck. If anything, luck favored those already established in the industry. And it wasn't because I had some unique genius others didn't possess. What I had was a decision, a stubborn, unshakable decision, that every single day I would take steps toward my goal, no matter how small, no matter how difficult, no matter how impossible it seemed. I didn't wait for permission. I didn't wait for conditions to be perfect. I didn't ask whether it would be easy. I just worked every day. And over time, the weight of those days became unstoppable momentum. People like to talk about overnight success, but the truth is that every overnight success you've ever heard about was built over years of invisible, daily effort. There will be days when you are surrounded by doubt. Days when even the people you love will question your vision. Days when the results seem so far away, you can barely remember why you started. And on those days, you will be tempted to stop. But hear me clearly. The moment you stop, you lose. The moment you keep going, despite everything, you win. You may not see the victory that day. You may not feel the reward. But you are building something far more valuable than a single achievement. You are building yourself into a person who cannot be broken, a person who cannot be stopped. That is the kind of person who achieves not just one success, but many. Every morning, rise with purpose. Every evening, review your progress. In between, work with intention. Shut out the noise. Ignore the temptation to measure your progress against someone else's. Your only competition is the person you were yesterday, and your only goal is to be better than him today. If you win that battle each day, you will win the larger war for your life. Understand this. The habits you keep when no one is watching are the truest measure of your future. You cannot hide from them. They will either serve you or destroy you. If your days are filled with focus, learning, and deliberate action, your future will reward you. If they are filled with distraction, excuses, and wasted hours, your future will punish you. And so, I leave you with this. Do not waste another day. The tools you need are already in your hands. The decision you must make is already in your heart. Do the work. Do it today. Do it again tomorrow and the day after. And keep doing it until the world can no longer ignore what you have built. Because when that day comes, and it will, you will know that it wasn't luck, it wasn't talent, and it wasn't fate that brought you here. It was the simple, unglamorous, unstoppable act of showing up every single day and doing what needed to be done. That, my friend, is how you achieve success. And now I have one last thing to say to you, and I want you to hear it as if I'm standing right in front of you. There will never be a better moment than this one. Not next week. Not when you have more money. Not when you feel ready. That moment you're waiting for, it's an illusion. The only moment you can control is the one you have in your hands right now. You don't need permission to begin. You don't need anyone to validate your dream. You don't need perfect conditions. They don't exist. All you need is to take the first step. And once you take that first step, you take the next, and then the next. That's how great things are built. Not by talking, not by wishing, not by waiting, but by moving. Stop telling yourself stories about why you can't. Stop imagining obstacles that don't exist yet. Stop letting the voice of fear speak louder than the voice of ambition. Every day you hesitate is a day you will never get back, and the world will not slow down for you to catch up. If there's a skill you need, start learning it today. If there's a call you've been avoiding, make it now. If there's work you've been postponing, put your hands on it this moment, not later. Now. Because here is the truth. Success does not belong to the most talented. It does not belong to the richest. It belongs to the ones who act. It belongs to the ones who turn thought into movement and movement into momentum. It belongs to the men and women who, when faced with a choice between waiting and working, choose to work every single time. So I challenge you, not tomorrow, not next week, but today, to take one action that moves you forward. Just one. It doesn't matter how small. Send the email, read the chapter, start the design, make the plan, lay the first brick, and then tomorrow, lay another, and another. And before you know it, you'll look back and realize you built something extraordinary. The man who starts today is already miles ahead of the man who plans to start tomorrow. Which one will you be? The clock is ticking, the road is open, and there's nothing stopping you but the limits you've placed on yourself. Remove them. Step forward. Start now. And don't stop until the life you want is the life you live.